This lesson deals with inserting pictures, and when I say pictures, it can be just as easily clip art. Now, um, in any document, you can add clip art and pictures, and of course, we see that more and more now. So you have two options here. You have pictures and you have online pictures. Pictures, of course, refers to pictures that you would have somewhere on your drive on your computer. So if you click on pictures here, you get a list of location. You get your computer, right? So you'd find where you have your pictures. And I have stored some pictures here ready to go. I know where they are, and I can just click on the one that I want and insert it. So I can go on healthy food and insert that. Now, when a picture comes in, typically the layout may not be exactly what you want it to be. So you'll probably have to change the layout option immediately to what it is you want, and you'll probably have to size it as well. So the first two things, the size and the layout options. When you're sizing a picture, I realize you have all these nodes to choose from, but if it's a picture, then I don't recommend you size from any of these, right? So the side and the top are going to distort your picture, all right? It's no longer going to look the way that it should. And I'll use a picture of a person as an example. It's a better example. You wouldn't want to do that to a picture of a person because so I have a picture of a man here, healthy man, insert, all right? Now, if I size this way, right, I've distorted him. He's not that thin. So, as a general rule, you should never ever resize a picture using those nodes, right? Clip art, sure, but if you're doing a picture, you're distorting it. You should always size with the corner nodes. If for some reason this isn't fitting into the area that you want, you have the ability to crop out parts of the picture, right? So if this picture is just too long for you, right? You would want it to be shorter. Well, better to crop out part of the picture, all right, and then hit crop again and use that. Better to do that than distort it this way, all right? Because now you're making them wider, and anyone who's been working with pictures and software for a while can tell when you've distorted a picture. And sadly, I see it all over the place, and it just looks unprofessional. So understand that. Understand that you can go to layout now and change how this gets along with text. All right, so you have many cool options to choose from. All right, you can put it behind. I've mentioned before that I like front, not because I'd leave it there, but because I can move it. I can move this picture pretty much anywhere I want. Right. Now it's not fitting. This is probably not a good example, but if I wanted to move it there, all right. So many options here. I would probably choose some kind of bumping. I would probably go something like this. There you go. That makes a nice look right there. So back to pictures and what you can do. I guess what I should do next is show you other ways of inserting a picture. So you can also, they're going to want you to know for the test that you can go online, right? And my connection is a little slow. So here we go. So you can go to your OneDrive, right? Or you can go do a Bing search. Now, they're not going to like that I'm saying this, but for my money, I'm not a big fan of Bing. I did just for an example, I did a healthy man search for Bing. I'll show you what that comes up with. A lot of his clip art, right? And I'm not able, from what I can tell, to discern between clip art and healthy men, and I'm not happy about the results at all, right? At all. So you'd be able to select one of these and then insert it, and you'd have the same options, all right? So here, if I click that, I'm not sure if it gets any better. I'll just wait and see. Oh, it does get much better. All right, so I'm much happier with that. At least you've got actual healthy men, okay? And you'd be able to use one of those pictures. I believe this allows you to see it better. No, you go there. So now if I wanted to insert that, I would insert that this way. And it's downloading it into my document. And this image cannot currently be displayed. So much for that. So I'm going to delete that and bring you to the competitor. When you come to Google, you have two choices. All right. So when you're doing a search, you can click on one of these, right? And you can right click Let's say you wanted this one. You right click and save image. Don't do that. This is not the actual image. This is a thumbnail of the actual image. This is also not the actual image. If you want to save the picture to use it in a document, go to view image instead and save that one. Just to give you an example, here, healthy man, healthy man. This was the thumbnail, 7. This was the actual picture, 95. It was a much bigger picture. The other thing I like about going to the Google is it actually gives you the size of the pictures. So the bigger those numbers, the bigger the picture, right? And if you go, when you put it on your page, you can make these pictures quite large. So that's a big, high quality picture that can take up pretty much as much of your page as possible and still look crisp and clean. If you use a low quality picture, if you go to size it, it's going to look fuzzy and pixelated. So if I were to insert that low quality picture that I have, this one, okay, if I insert that and I go to size it, you see how fuzzy that looks? Oh, it looks terrible. This was the higher quality one. See, I'm sizing it and it's still maintaining its crisp look. So understand that. Those are a couple important lessons there. Above and beyond what they're going to test you on, they're just things that you should know when you're working with pictures. Now, on to the menu, I suppose. All kinds of choices here. All right, so this one's new. Automatically remove background. So this white background should disappear. And it did. Not saying that I'm crazy about the, all right, so keep changes. All right, so not crazy about that. We'll get back to that later. Other corrections that you can make here. All right, so these are very Photoshop-ish, but they're fast, right? So you don't have to mess with a bunch. So this is like part of the filter selection that you have in Photoshop. So it allows you to add something pretty neat to the picture very, very quickly. Color, same type of deal. Now I'm just hovering over these buttons and they're giving you a preview. These are relatively new features and they're pretty cool. And in the test, they may ask you to use any of these. So just understand that they're there. So you got adjust picture styles and arrange and size. So those are your main menus. And inside you've got all these cool things. So these are, again, more filters that are very Photoshop-ish. Very neat. If your picture is too big in size, you compress it. I wouldn't do that. Change, if you want to swap out your picture, you can. If you've done so many crazy things to your picture and you want to reset it, you can reset it to what it was originally. These are styles, right? So you can apply these styles to your picture very quickly. I'm just hovering here. So if they asked you to put a metal oval or any of these things, if you hover over these with your mouse, it'll tell you exactly what the effect is. Again, these do a really good job very quickly to make your picture look kind of cool. You can set your own borders if you'd like, right? With color and then effects. So many choices. I don't want to go over all of them. You can play with these on your own if you want. That reflection, you can see the reflection of the picture down there in the back. So a lot of cool things that you can do with pictures that you just couldn't do before. I'm not going to mess with that. Positioning, very similar. We've talked about positioning when we were talking about shapes. Same options available. You've got your 9 options here, your preset options. You also, if you want to wrap text, we've already talked about the options there. If you had several, you can bring forward, backward, that kind of thing. You can align it to other pictures if you wanted to. I've already talked about crop and I've talked about size. So those are the main things that I believe you need to know about pictures. Here, you might want to get rid of that frame that's in this picture. So I would probably crop out that frame, get rid of it once and for all. When you're done cropping, hit the crop button, and now that frame is gone. I just want to see what was here. Many of the same effects that are available in other places. So there you go, inserting pictures and clip art in Microsoft